everybody. Welcome back to Afrovibes TV. I'm your host, Taylor, and this is my beautiful co-host, Barbiee Diiorr.
Hey everybody, how are you guys?
So we're so happy to have you here today. I just want to thank you again for coming to be on the show today. It was definitely a pleasure getting to know you. Met you one time and literally fell in love with this girl, y'all. Like, she's such a vibe. So I can't wait to give y'all a chance to get to know a little bit more about her. So today we're gonna go over a couple of things on what exactly she does, some upcoming projects she has. So yeah, we'll just start there. So just to get started here, Barbiee Diiorr, where are you from?
Well, I'm from Houston. I grew up on the south side of Houston. I love Houston. Shout out to Houston. My family, most of my family is actually from Louisiana, but I'm from Houston. My dad and my mom, different things like that. But yeah,
Nice.
shout out to
Okay.
Houston.
Shout out to Houston. No, for sure. So, as y'all know, I'm not from Houston. I've been in Houston for a couple of years now. So, I love meeting Houstonians and learning to know people that know what a day to day looks like in Houston and grew up here, the places to go, the food to eat, and all those types of things. So, with that being said, Barbiee Diiorr, what would you say is like your favorite thing about living in Houston?
I feel like my favorite thing about living in Houston is probably that there's just something always to do. Not really just the club, y'all, different things like that. Of course, you can always club and brunch, but I mean, there's like museums, underground museums. There's just a lot of things I feel like Houston has to offer. I mean, it's one of the biggest like tourist, states. It's always so many people here. So, I mean, I love Houston. Everybody loves Houston. So, shout out to Houston.
Yes, for sure. And I'm glad you mentioned that there's more to do than just going outside because people, from the outside looking in, they think that's all to do is just the club and brunch and mimosas. And it's so much more than that. There's so many networking opportunities. There's so many good restaurants, and different things to do, museums, like you mentioned. So
Yes.
I'm glad that you mentioned that because that's coming from someone who's a Houstonian. So no, now y'all know I'm not lying when I say it's more to do than just outside. So thank you for that. But just to hop into like what you're working on right now, Barbiee Diiorr. So I know you have an upcoming show, and it's called Barbiee Charm School, which I'm definitely a fan of the name already, and I know I'm gonna love the show.
Thank you.
So yeah, can you tell me just a little bit about that? Like, what inspired you to start that?
So originally, well, I mean, I've always wanted my own show. It's just been something like I've always wanted to do. Like since a child, people have always told me like you should have your own show. You should be on a show. Different things like that. So, I mean, now it just came to pass. And I literally was just talking about it. I got connected with T Network. So shout out to Big Money Kira, and yeah, we just got it popping. So of course it's Barbie's Charm School, guys. We're just wanting to bring something different to the airways. It's just fun, it's exciting, it's very, very cute, very pretty. It's not so much about, fighting and things like that. That's not what this is about. There's challenges, there's amazing opportunities from acting, music, different things like that. So there's definitely, when a lot of real shit is going on, there's definitely not a lot of time to, just the altercation, because I know that's one of the biggest things, with shows and different things going on. So, and I know one of the biggest things, the reason I'm saying this too, is because a lot of girls have asked about that. There was a lot of girls who wanted to do different shows, but they were like, well, there is going to be fighting on the show, and they declined that. So now there's like a lot of different girls who are very excited about the show, just because the main focus is just bettering yourself, sisterhood, friendship. So that's what Barbie's Charm School is about. So
Nice. Yeah, and I love that. I love that you mentioned that, it's not going to be like any other shows because don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of Bad Girls Club and all that drama, rah, rah.
Definitely.
But you don't have to be snatching wigs and fighting every
Definitely,
5
that's
seconds.
not-
You can be positive and be cute.
Yes. Yes. Just like getting your point across, without, having to fight, I just feel like there's so many things to do before that. I mean, defending yourself, or if it ever just gets to that, like, I'm never going to sit here and act like that's not that, you know what I mean? Because I would never I really like from the bottom of my heart, like, I don't play that shit, So
Right.
I just I understand, but there's so many things like, I've asked girls before, just some of the other girls, I won't get too much into it, but I did ask some of the other girls that were on different shows, and when they were talking about fighting, they didn't know why they were fighting.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's like, if you don't have a reason to fight, you for sure shouldn't be fighting. But but I'm just saying, before you put your hands on somebody, there's so many ways to. But that's one of the main things too: talking, communication, learning how to get your point across and really communicate. Because that helps in
Right.
other areas of your life. But yeah. So that's that.
I love that. Yeah, I think Charm School, Barbiee Charm School is such a positive name. And it's something that, a lot of people want to be a part of because a lot of people don't like to fight, never been in a fight. Me, for number one. I ain't never been in a fight. I ain't trying to get in one. I ain't got time for that.
I feel that. I feel that.
Just given that you're bringing the community something positive, it definitely means a lot. And I know it's going to like touch a lot of people's hearts and make them want to be interested.
I love that.
So yeah, I'm definitely glad you even came up with that. Like, have you been thinking about this like for years, or was it just something like you in bed one night and it clicked? Like, how?
So I did have different ideas for like different shows and things like that. But when it came to the charm school, I did something separately, and there was like a lot of fighting, but I was told before that there wasn't, you know what I mean? So with that being said, it's definitely not going to be that, because I was in a situation like that. Like I said, it's just about better things, like everything better, looking better, feeling better, talking better, like literally like that's life changing. So that's just, what we're going to do, and it will be
I love
televised.
that. I love that. So with your Barbiee Charm School, what are like some types of personalities you're looking for like for the show? Like, are you only looking for, like boss girls or like, all kind of different personalities? What are you looking for?
I'm actually glad you said that. Excuse me. So I'm definitely looking for, especially the network. We are definitely looking for girls with fun personalities. There's going to be a lot of challenges and different things where you have to come together. It's not just a lot of things that, I mean, of course, there's going to be a lot of challenges that you do by yourself, but a lot of the challenges do include, friendship, sisterhood, trying to get everything together, because you have to finish the challenge. You can't like fight. You can, you know what I mean? So with that being said, one of the main things is just like fun, really want to just show personality, because I feel like a lot of times, like when it comes to fighting, sometimes there's just so much fighting that like you can never really get to know the girls or what they've been through or why they're fighting, because everybody has a reason that they're fighting.
Right.
Or want to fight, or that they're angry, different things like that. So there's going to be a lot of there's just going to be a lot of people who are involved, who are excited to help the girls, show them different, and just uplift them. But like I said, it's still fun. It's still a challenge. There's still, it's only one winner. But with that being said, just like fun girls, just really personality. Personality. You love cameras. You want to, just really just be, just show something different. You know what I mean? So
I love that. I think that's gonna be a really good experience and a fun experience, getting people out of their comfort zone. And I know you kept mentioning challenges. So like with challenges, what you gonna have them doing, girl? You mean like they gonna be eating the cow's eyeball? Just like fear factor? What they gonna be doing?
I won't say too much, because I really want the girls to be like excited and kind of just really on go with it. But one thing for sure, the challenges, of course, I will just say, give a little snippet. So basically, of course, it's Barbie's Charm School.
Right.
So of course it's a school. So in school you have different classes and different things like that. So it's basically so it's really just tailored to like the whole kind of school aesthetic. So like I said, it's definitely gonna be it's like you're in class. You have different classes. So it's gonna be really exciting, and the people that I bring out, like my special guests and things like that. I have some really, really exciting people coming out that are excited to help too. When it comes to like music, acting, just all that fun stuff. So it's very exciting, and there are actually great opportunities for the girls, in those challenges because of who we're bringing in. So definitely.
I love that. And I love that you're giving everybody the opportunity to do something different, because not everybody, wants to do music. Not everybody wants to do acting. And just everybody has those different personalities and different things they're interested in. Will it be like opportunities for like modeling and stuff too? The reason I asked, because you give me model vibes. I don't know if you do it or not, but if you don't, you need to start.
Okay, I love that. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
But yes, there is. That's going to be kind of connected to like the theater class and different things like that. But there is going to be, like something like that, fashion and walking, just different things like that. And but it's going to be a lot of fun. Like, but I'm glad you said that, because that is, the whole point of it, just giving everybody different opportunities. Because it's not so much tailored towards like that boss girl aesthetic. What I mean? Of course, that's what when we graduate, leave the charm school. That's what we want. But with that being said, it's more so just about trying different things, expanding, you know what I mean? Because a lot of girls don't know how to, maybe just hop in, modeling or acting or even making music. So like I say, it's just it's just fun opportunities and just doing something different, you know what I mean? So that's just one of the biggest things I want the girls to like keep in mind, that this is just doing something different, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait to meet the girls. Yeah.
I love that. And I love that you're giving everybody that fair chance because some people don't know where to start. You know what I'm saying? And it's not always easy to get started too. Some people aren't necessarily self-starters. So the fact that you're giving these people a platform is going to mean a lot to them, especially, you know, never know how far you can go and how far that person is going to go. So it'll definitely make a difference. You also mentioned, you know, something about music. So I know that you're into music. You make music. So like, tell us a little bit more about that too.
Okay, so you guys can actually find me on all major platforms, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, you know, like I said, all major platforms. I have a couple of different songs out. Let's see, Lick Back. I have pressed. I actually been in talks with a director about getting my music on a couple of different movies. You know, so it's just, you know, been a blessing. You know, God is good. I'm just excited to do something different. But yeah, so my music, my last song was that Tell the Truth.
Oh, I like it
Yes,
already.
my last song was Tell the Truth featuring Banks. Before that, I did The Pressed, and The Pressed is the one that's like really buzzing. My Lick Back too. I love Lick Back. I'm gonna do a big music video for that soon, so definitely stay tuned. I'm gonna have, you know, the girls in there too. It's gonna be really fun. But yeah, so you know, I got you.
Okay.
But yeah, I love making music. That's something I've always loved to do, and that's it. I love music. I love making music. Now I'm actually getting into like making like country music and different things like that, you know. So like I said, I have some different things in the work that I won't talk too much about, you know, because I do just like to kind of show results. Like, you know, I've always been like that, especially when it comes to business.
Yeah.
You know, not too much talking about it, but doing it. But definitely though, be on the lookout for some new country music from Barbiee Diiorr. Okay, yes,
Y'all be on the lookout.
But yeah, just, you know, some different things, trying a new sound, just, you know,
I love that. Yeah. You're very talented. And that's, you know, a lot of people cannot relate to that. You know what I'm saying? Some people just have that one thing they good at or a couple of things, but it's like you're good at a lot of things, which is something that's super exciting, something you should definitely be proud of and, you know, want the world to see. So I love that for you.
Thank you so
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
And I know, like I mentioned earlier, you know, was the show more so about people that are like a boss girl and stuff like that. And I love that you said it. You don't necessarily, you know, have to be a boss and own your own business and stuff like that. Because I know some people get discouraged by things like that. If they just like work a 9 to 5 and someone else like has these businesses, they get a little discouraged. You know, I ain't gonna lie, I used to be like that. I'd be like, dang, like I wish I could have my own business. Like I'm just sitting here working a 9 to 5. Like even though it's a good job, it's just like sometimes that can be discouraging.
One thing that I will say is that the whole point too is about the whole point of Barbie's Charm School. Of course, shout out to T Network. The whole point of Barbie's Charm School is transformation. So of course, if you do have a 9 to 5 and you want to transfer it into, you know, having different businesses and things like that, you know, I would be the, you know, perfect person for that, as I've had two different businesses of mine in stores, you know, Exotic Candy and Barbie Dream Cosmetics, you know, cosmetic and candy. But with that being said, you know, there's a lot of things that, you know, you can learn. I mean, when you go through a charm school, you know, if you want to finish, if you want to leave with the new business, even if you don't win, you know, like I said, there's so many other like opportunities and help. So it's like if you come into the charm school and you're always like, oh, you know, I did, you know, always want to start a business or different things like that, or get my business, or get my products in stores. Of course, that's something that can be done because I've already done it, you know. So it's definitely something to just, you know, look forward to. But it's, you know, that's the thing to think about, you know, like I haven't done that, you know. You never want to like because I'm one of those like type people, like I never like let anything stop me. You never want to, you know what I'm saying, you never want to feel like, oh well, that might not be for me, because like that's like how you change, you know. I feel like everybody kind of has that story too, like, you know, oh I used to do this but now I'm doing this, you know what I mean. So it's just kind of like, you know, just kind of put yourself out there, try something different if that's what you want to do, you know what I mean. So
of course, no, I love that. And I know when you are doing a shift between like industries and trying new things and stuff like that, there comes rejection. So like, how would you say you like handle rejection, and what's your advice to people that like struggle with that?
So when it comes to rejection, I guess I would just say it just depends exactly because I don't want to say how they were rejected.
Yeah.
Because I would say there are so many ways, because you always need a team, you know, even, you know, just me getting into that. But there are a lot of things of where you can put your foot in by yourself, you know, never, you know, that's how a lot of people started. You know what I mean? That's how a lot of people started their businesses. That's how a lot of people, you know, got into other ventures, because they got rejected from that. You know what I mean? So I know there's this saying that's like, 10 people can't tell you no like 10 times in a row, you know. But the whole point I would definitely say is just keep going. Like you can never like feel, you know what I mean? You can never let that stop you, because if you do, you'll literally never like go anywhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you just can't let that stop you. You just have to, you know, push that to the side. I feel like too, I always tell people like it's not you, it's them. You know what I mean? So
sorry, love. We gotta take a break. But we gonna pick up where you was talking about. We're gonna pick up. No, I love that. I love that. We getting deep. We getting deep. We're gonna pick up where we left off. So, guys, we'll be right back. We're gonna take a quick break. Once again, this is Afrovibes TV. This is Everything Tailored. I'm your host Taylor, and this is my co-host Barbiee Diiorr. We'll see you in a few minutes. All right, y'all. We're back with Afrovibes TV. This is Everything Tailored. I'm your host Taylor, and this is my co-host Barbiee Diiorr.
hey guys.
I know y'all was not trying to wait that long. I'm so sorry it took so long, but we're back. Don't worry. So yeah, I want to pick up where we left off. So Barbiee Diiorr was giving us some words of encouragement about, you know, taking rejection and how she handles rejection and like what makes you want to keep going. So let's just pick up where we left off.
I also wanted to say, guys, I feel like, I know, you know, you have to be your biggest supporter. Like, you have to be your biggest supporter. Like, you can have all the followers, you know, a lot of different fans, maybe no fans. It's not even about having fans, you know. But I just feel like at the end of the day, like, you have to support yourself. Like, you have to be your biggest supporter. You know, you have to make those posts, you know, you have to network, you have to get out there. You know what I mean? I just feel like there's a lot of times where it's like, if everybody is discouraging you, like, why would you be, you know, if like 10 people are discouraging you, why would you be the 11th person, you know, like kicking you while you're down? Like, don't kick yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't kick yourself while you're down. So I just feel like one of the biggest ways to get over rejection, or just look at it as like, you know, maybe God has something better for you, you know, because that's usually what it is. You know what I mean? And then it's kind of like you always think back like, wow, like I really wanted to do that, but now I have this other amazing opportunity. You know, I have like so many stories about things like that where it's like I really wanted something and it just didn't turn out that well for me, and then something else came along and I'm like, wow, like I'm so happy I'm not doing that. I'm so happy I'm not connected to that. You know what I mean? So it's just really, you know, it's really just about being your biggest supporter. You have to be your biggest supporter.
For sure. Yeah. I love that you said that, because that is also true. And I'm not gonna lie, I struggle with that sometimes. So like, even though I know something better is to come, when I get some type of rejection or something doesn't go my way, I'm still gonna cry. I don't care. I'm gonna cry first. I'm gonna panic first, but I'm gonna get through it.
But as you should, because emotions are a real thing. I think you definitely don't want to like bottle anything up. I feel like a lot of times people turn rejection into like anger before sadness. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, well, you know, that's how it turns into like, well, I wanted to do that, then they just stop, you know, because and then they might see somebody else and then they're like might be hating on them or jealous of them and things like that. But it's like, hey, like that person kept going. You know what I mean? That person believed in themselves. So basically you just gotta believe in yourself, you know, like the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. Definitely be your biggest fan. On top of like your already like fan base, you definitely need to be your biggest fan and try to motivate yourself as well, and not count on others for that motivation. Because at the end of the day, you gonna be the last one who's gonna be there for yourself. So it just is what it is.
Now that was the word. No, that was
the word.
That was the word. Okay. I like
for sure. So yeah. So basically, y'all, you get that rejection, just keep going. I will say, I know it's not the easiest thing to hear and the easiest thing to do, but you know, just having that in the mindset that something better is to come will always help you feel a lot better about the situation, and help you continue to grow and keep going. I feel like rejection is just a form of growth. You know what I'm saying? I will say definitely for me too, because I don't do rejection.
I mean, I feel like a lot of times you have to be like in a realistic mindset. Like one thing, I mean, I always hope for the best, I always pray for the best, manifest for the best, all that good stuff, you know. But you never want to be in like a space where you're just like very unrealistic about things. You know what I mean? Like, you know, things happen, you know, you just have to keep, you know, just keep going. You have to turn yourself up. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to be popping, like, if you're like, oh, I want to be popping, I want to do this, like, you should be the first person to think like you're a bad bitch. You should be the first person to think like my hair is cute or I look good. You know what I mean? Different things like that. Like, you should be your first supporter. You should be your first like fan. You know what I mean? Like, that's how, you know, I feel like, you know, people vibe with you when you like believe in yourself, when you have that confidence, because that's what it all comes down to too, you know. So for sure, it's just about, you know, keep going.
Yeah, definitely keep going. And like sometimes you have to be a self-starter too. I will say that's something I used to struggle with. Like I just expected everything to be handed to me. And then like when things weren't going my way, I'm like, why ain't this coming here? Why ain't this doing that? It's because I wasn't putting forth that effort that I needed to. So you have to really be a self-starter and really work hard and do what you need to do to get to where you want to be. Because everything can't be handed to you. Even if you grow up spoiled, like it don't matter. You get to the real world, it will chew you up and spit you out. I promise you. So if you didn't learn nothing today from us, I think y'all need to definitely take away that.
Definitely. Because I mean, I feel like that'll change your life. I feel like that's how a lot of people's, lives have changed,
Right.
Because a lot of, like I said before, a lot of the stories aren't the same. I just, it's like, oh, I took a chance on this and I did that and it turned out like way better than I ever thought. So I feel like that's kind of what's going on now. I mean, like the turnout we've had, like the support and different things like that. A lot of, my friends and family, different things like that, just wanted to get involved and just really be there and support it just because they know it's, something unique, it's something different. So like I said, I'm very, very excited, just to get Barbiee's Charm School started with the Teen Network.
Yes. I'm so excited for you. That's
Thank
gonna be
you.
amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So Barbiee Diiorr, can you tell me like what kind of like goes on between like the behind the scenes, like, getting in preparation before the show? What are some things you've had to do that you probably like weren't expecting?
Some things I would have to say, well, I guess I wouldn't say wasn't expecting because I feel like when you're a boss and you've already kind of like had different businesses and different things like that, like something, you might have to step in and be, your own graphic designer or something like that. You know what I mean? If that person, it's just certain things to where it's like whenever one of the main things about like you starting your own business and different things like that, you have to be like your main supporter in that too. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like nobody's gonna post for you, nobody's gonna sell that product, nobody's gonna tell that person about your product. I mean, you can do a repost, you can send it out, different things like that. But I mean, when you really want something, you push it. Like with my candy, exotic candy, before it was in stores, like I pushed it all over the city. I was outside for real, like I was outside, like because before I was outside, y'all know how I mean outside. That's how I pushed my first products. Miami, Atlanta, and Atlanta is where I had got my first products. Shout out the Black Ink crew of Atlanta.
Love that.
But long story short, the whole point of me saying that is like you have to push your product, period. It doesn't matter what you're selling, what you're doing, you have to push your product. Nobody's gonna push it like you. And then when you realize people start getting behind it because of the way you're pushing it. Because it's like, how can you if you don't believe in your product and the things you're doing, like nobody else will.
That is very true.
I mean? Yeah. So definitely. Because by that 10th time you post that lip gloss, they're gonna be like, okay, I think I need to see what's going on and check it out. You know what I mean? So definitely just go ahead and keep pushing and believe in yourself. That's like the biggest thing.
For sure, for sure. I love that. And exotic candy. Hold on, we didn't talk about this earlier, sis. Hold on. Tell me a little bit more. What kind of candy is it? Is that hard salt?
So exotic candy is actually candied fruit. I do a lot of different I do a lot of different candies, a lot of different flavors. And of course you guys know it's like fruit. Excuse me guys, it's fruit. And we boil the sugar, we wrap it in the fruit, do different candies. It's just really fun, exciting. We do infused and non-infused too. So it was really a crazy hit. Especially our I mean, we've done kids parties and different things like that. Dispensaries, we've been in a couple dispensaries in Houston. That's so exotic candy has not been like out of the states or anything like that. We did have opportunities to go to Dallas, but we just didn't do that yet. But of course that's still on that's definitely still on the roster. So I know a lot of people have been asking about it too, because it is summer. But you guys know I just have so much going on. But of course I am excited to have different locations, and show you guys the new fruit. We have a lot of new exotic fruit, like Australian fruit, just all type of fun things. So I think you guys will definitely love it. But yeah, so shout out to exotic candy.
I love that. Now I don't eat a whole lot of sweets, but I love me some candy fruit. So I'm gonna be your first customer when you bring that back. Give me
I
20
love
now.
it.
That sounds good. That sounds really good. I love that.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, you just tried so many different things. I love that. And that just shows, that you're a hard worker and you keep going, you know what I'm saying? You push yourself. And it's something that is really important when you're wanting to start your own business and things like that. So y'all are looking at a boss right here. So I hope y'all learned a lot today because I know I did for sure. For
I love that. Thank you so much. I really
You're welcome.
appreciate you. Yes, and shout out to my girl Taylor for having me. She's so sweet. She's so amazing. But yes, thank you for having me. I love it. I enjoy myself. Yes.
Me too. We too. We ain't done yet though. Come on in.
I love that.
I'm gonna pick up right a little bit more.
Perfect.
But yeah, so I did want to go back to your Barbie Charm School and just ask you a couple more questions about that. So like, as far as like, personality wise and things like that. So of course, you do have your people that know how to act, but you also have your people that don't know how to act. And there's always that one bad apple. I don't care where you go. It's always gonna be that one bad apple. So I am just curious. If that one bad apple, try to fight or get into a fight, what you gonna do about that? They get kicked off or what? They get attention.
Yeah, so it is actually something like that. Like I said, I don't want to get too much into it because I really want the viewers, I want the girls to be really excited about what's to come. But with that being said, it really just depends the severity. I will say this because, like I told you guys, I'm not gonna sit here and act like. But the main thing is, it's not a fighting show.
It's
it's like
not
at it's at the casting call. You don't need to fight anybody to get on the show. There's no reason to grab anybody because at the end of the day, there are some shows where you do get casted like without a wig and you're standing there, you're busted up, you're looking crazy and shit. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, we want you looking pretty. We want you looking, like you're ready for charm school because there's a lot of things and challenges to do. You can't be in front of, these special guests and doing these amazing fun challenges looking crazy, ladies. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I will say, it is a situation where if the girls feel like they cannot come down to it and they both agree that they want to get in a boxing ring, they want to do something like that, then they can do that. But at the end of the day, there's so many other options before that happens, and also too, you can't just fight. So it's a whole thing where you for sure talked before that ever happened. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely something like that. But I feel like the girls that are gonna come, even if they might be a little wild, I know a lot of y'all have common sense. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I just feel like enjoy the show. Make it amazing TV because that's what we want. We just want girls that just want to show who they are. Like I said, a lot of the challenges, a lot of the special guests and things like that are really things that can put you on different movies or songs and different things like that. So I think it'll be fun. It'll be amazing for the girls.
I love that.
Yes,
that's gonna be a good networking opportunity. Yes. So y'all, if y'all come to the casting, because I know y'all gonna come, y'all need to act right. No bad apples. Let's be nice. Let's be cute.
Everything is in place. Security. I mean, personal security, regular security, that security, their security.
I know that's right.
All the security. You know what I mean? So with that being said, it's an act right thing. It's about fun. Honestly, guys, look, standing there with no wig, no nails, no lashes, your titties sitting left, the other one sitting right. It's not a vibe. Like, it's not fun, and nobody wants to do that. And then we have to go to, an outing, or we have to go somewhere where, it's where we're supposed to be at, and you're standing there looking crazy with a fucking sideways wig. Like, that's not, there's no reason to do that. So it's very much about, keeping your cool, learning how to communicate, be a boss. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many like $1 million deals. There's so many different things that I've actually been able to sit on in and understand from, bigger bosses and CEOs and different things like that. But I've heard arguments where I know some of these girls would have already, tore it down. But at the end of the day, it came down to it, it's bigger than that. So that's all, you always want to remember it's bigger than that. When you're attached to something else or you're trying to, do something else and change, all of that has to change too. You know what I mean? It's not just about, making sure your hair and nails, all that is done. That's a part of being, I'm saying, a charm school girl. Like I say, you look amazing, by the way. But that's a part of being a charm school girl. But at the end of the day, it's about, morals and knowing how to expand and grow. And you can't do that if you're angry all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nobody will want to, you know what I mean? So it's deeper than that, guys. It's not just about, it's no fighting, and it's just deeper than that. You know what I mean? Like, the opportunities and different things that are going to be there for you guys. Fighting is just, it should just be
Yeah.
does to you ladies, like, you know. So
I agree. Let's keep it cute. Let's be professional. Let's know how to act. We all grown. Like don't be doing all that extra stuff. This is not Bad Girls Club. This is Barbie Charm School.
that's a quick way to get, you know,
get the
yeah, because you can't just
you ain't gonna go on the
it.
show if you get the fight. So this is just so y'all know. Just so y'all know in advance.
And the more you grow and the more you do different things, you know, it is gonna be people where it's like, I'm not fighting you. You know what I mean? You can go to the get a lawsuit. You can't do other things. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like the more money you play with, the more people, like, you know, the different things you do, you just want to be like in a better headspace. You know what I mean? And also to remember you're representing yourself, kind of to take it back to how to take it back to how I was originally saying, like, you are you're your brand, you're everything. So it's like whatever you present is what the people get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you want to make sure you're presenting in a way that's presentable. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Type of thing.
It's definitely important. So yeah, when y'all come, y'all definitely do y'all's best. Be professional, be cute. Can you tell them when the audition is and what time it is?
So the audition is September the 20th in Houston, Texas on Westheimer. We did get a new location just because we had to get a bigger location. There's so many dolls and video submissions. Shout out to the girls from out of state that are flying in. But yeah, we just got a new location. If you go to my Instagram at Barbiee Diiorr, that is BARBIDDIOR. And I said that wrong. Please don't cut that out. But anyways,
it's okay, friend.
But anyways, you guys, the Instagram will be below and all the information you need. Okay, guys. So like I said, we got a bigger venue. There is a new location. Okay. So just make sure you guys come ready to be in front of the camera. There is gonna be a lot of girls. So you know, just keep it cool, twin. Yeah, keep it cool, twin.
I love that. Okay. Well, y'all, that's all the time we have today, unfortunately. It was definitely a pleasure having you on the show, Barbiee Diiorr. Thank you so much.
You.
You did amazing. It was amazing having you on here. Y'all know, make sure y'all go follow her Instagram and be at that Barbie Charm School casting call next weekend. It's going to be fun. It's going to be lit. But once again, this is Everything Tailored. I'm your host, Taylor. This is my co-host, Barbiee Diiorr. And this is Afrovibes TV. I'll see y'all next week.